teaching us, preaching the gospel based on fear. What a crock. Now pay for it. Here's what it costs. If you don't make enough money, then pray for it. Your visa will charge. Just leave it in the offering basket, along with the keys to your car. Proceed to the exit exceedingly and leave with misleading and flawed ideas. Don't read the Bible or read the Quran. Benny Hinn needs you to stop moving as he places his palm on your forehead and his knee to your crotch. There are 7 sins. I've committed all 7. And his televangelist keeps yelling, telling me I should buy what he's selling. There are 7 sins. I've committed all 7. And his televangelist keeps yelling, telling me I should buy my way back to heaven. Is it blasphemy for me to feel nervous when my 3-year-old stands next to a Catholic priest? And do I have to keep my eye on him and remind him to keep his pedophile hands to himself? Meanwhile, there's a Warren Jeffs lurking from a hornet's nest in your Mormon church, quoting verses about morals somewhere, sweating as he's receiving oral. Don't you think it's ironic Alanis Morissette? More or less, remorse was never expressed by any clergy or regret, and I find it a little concerning that the only apology that I've ever heard was from an attorney. Does anyone else feel as disturbed? And if you're not feeling this verse, then you're probably a pedophile priest who deserves to diabolically burn and die a fiery death for the rest of eternity in an urn. There are 7 sins. I've committed all 7. And his televangelist keeps yelling, telling me I should buy what he's selling. There are 7 sins. I've committed all 7. And his televangelist keeps yelling, telling me I should buy my way back to heaven.
Yeah, it's your boy Killer B. Goddamn West Final General. Back at y'all again. Got a good video for y'all today. Get the show up in here. Get the show on the road. What's up, P? How you doing? Thanks for the lookout. Always forget to hit that damn button. Always forget that damn button. Be hyped too and shit. And then you figure it out. You're like, God damn it. Filled your whole shit. So yeah, we got a good show today on identity of Prophet Muhammad and how colors played a role in ancient civilizations, literature, and art. So you can dive into this one. I don't know how long this one's going to be. I got quite a few notes and stuff I want to share. So I'm trying to knock out most of the ones I don't deal with. Yeah, so I lighten up on my little load. But yeah, other than that, it's gonna be a good show. Yep, we live. Let's go. Yep. So bullshit a little bit and stuff before I get started. See if we get some more people in the room. Oh man. So I've been getting a lot of attacks and stuff from my last 2 videos. A lot of hollering, but I don't get no scholaring. Oh man, the Colts is going crazy. All the Colt flunkies and Afrocentrics, they just losing their goddamn minds. I don't know what's wrong. I put their asses to rest in this shit. None of them could debunk none of the information. So it's a bunch of hollering. What else has been going on? Goddamn coronavirus and shit fucking us up. Everybody shook. Everybody walking around wearing gloves and masks. I don't know. I don't know where this thing's going to take us. Hebrew Israelites, I know they're happy and stuff until they could catch the goddamn coronavirus. There's been some cases out here. yeah, this thing's spreading. Pretty deep, this stuff out of this shit that goes on. And it was cool, like the show I did on the coronavirus before, I think it was debunking all the stuff about how Bill Gates, he got the patent on the coronavirus and all that stuff. But if you look at it now, all the things that Bill Gates actually did do for disease and stuff like that, funding these people to do mock, what would you call it? Like a drill, basically, like a drill, these people will get practice on how to handle like epidemic like this. So it's a good thing and stuff. We have people that are trained, take care of the situation. So shout out to all the doctors and nurses and all these people and stuff out there that's helping us out and that are risking their lives every day and their health for us, so we can continue on with our lives and stuff, right? And feel safe in this country. So yeah, trying to get up in here. So yeah, we're going to talk about the identity of Prophet Muhammad, and I'm going to be as fair as I possibly can with this, because I know like the Muhammad and the whole Islam subject. Oh shit! About to break this next mouse. I'll be like a two-legged dog in a bit of this shit. Yeah, so this thing with Prophet Muhammad, I know it'll be a touchy subject because some of y'all Muslims out there is crazy as hell. You got the Muslim cults out there too. So yeah, so I'm gonna be as fair as possible. And I'm not a not a Quran expert. And I'm not an expert on the hadiths. Okay? But we're gonna get into that shit tonight. We're gonna get into this shit. So I'm gonna go over these hadiths of these eyewitnesses, supposedly eyewitnesses of Muhammad, and we're gonna take a look at what they're actually saying, and then we're gonna take a look at what the words that they're actually saying, and then we're gonna take a look at what those words might actually mean, and where these certain words or colors. So that's basically what this is going to be about. The show is going to be about colors used in these ancient times when in their writings and like their literature and their artwork. So we're going to get a chance to go over and stuff and see what a lot of these things represent. So I'm going to hit on a lot more things besides the Prophet Muhammad. I'm just making the Prophet Muhammad just like kind of like the base of the show. And then we're going to carry on too. So that's right. Shout out to all the supporters and contributors. Special shout out to the Sister P and stuff, always holding us down in the chat. So, yeah. So we're gonna go over these hadiths. For those of you that don't know what the hadiths are accounts of like of the sayings and like the customs and things that these people that followed the Prophet Muhammad and their eyewitness accounts and the commentary or the eyewitnesses or the people that might have known the people that were the eyewitnesses of these things that the Prophet Muhammad has done in his lifetime. The things that he said, his practices and stuff. If I'm off on any of this stuff, that what the comment board is for, that what the chat room is for. I'll be happy to let you on and explain some of this stuff. If any of the stuff that I say is incorrect. So we can all learn. This is just something I just ran across. I wanted to get a good subject. And this thing came across me, and I know it would be a lot of interest to some of these people out here. among all the other crazy stuff that a lot of people want to know about. Okay. We're gonna get into these beliefs. Muhammad's collection. Right. So, and I also have a research paper by the Department of English Language and Sohar College of Biosciences. The Department of Dakwah and Human Development, Academy of Islamic Studies University in Malaya, and Department of Dakwah and Human Development, Academy of Islamic Studies in the University of Malaysia. I'm sorry, Malaysia. 2000 January 7, 2011, by Amna Hassan. So I'm just going to read a little bit out of what he's did in his writings and stuff, in his English language teachings on the Arabic basic color terms and stuff. Okay, now. All right, let's get to some of these hadiths. There's a lot of people out there that say the Prophet Muhammad, because he was Arab, he's a so-called black man or descended from black people. There's people out there that says that he's a straight-up black man. There's people that says that he's a Caucasian. So what history tells us that he was a what you would call Caucasian descent. From what we're going to read, but I also want to be fair, like I said, because I see some things in here that it could go both ways. And just knowing of how people use color, and I also could apply this later on in time and how people use colors to describe people and stuff like that. So it is a different deal. I'm not saying the right or wrong. I'm just giving y'all this information. So there are many accounts about the Prophet Muhammad and his color. And that's what we're going to read out here in these ideas. So I'm going to get right into the first one. Okay. I'm going to start out this first one here by Ahmad Ibn Abi Sulaiman, the companion of, you know what? I don't pronounce any of these wrong.
Ahmad ibn Abi Sulaiman.
I don't even think they be saying that shit right. So I'm just gonna say it how I say it. I don't even think the computer's saying the name right. But anyway, the companion of Sunun. And he says, Sunun said, anyone who says the Prophet Muhammad is black should be killed, right? So now, is that saying black as in color, or is that black meaning another word? So with that, we're going to move on with this. We're going to start this thing up. And oh, you can't hear me? All right, let's keep. I think we can hear me. We're going to start at different body parts of the Prophet. The people accounts of seeing. And what we're going to see here, too, is that the skin that these people identify, the body parts, not the skin, the body parts that these people identify are usually things that were covered up with clothing. That they're saying what we're going to find, what I'm going to read on. You guys are going to find out what it says. But it's going to be like if most people, you're out in the sun. Thank you, B. Like most people, when you're out in the sun, your skin tans, whether you're black or you're white, or Native American or Chinese or whatever. and your skin that's underneath that is protected by clothing will usually keep this normal complexion. So a lot of these accounts are going to be from areas of his body that are usually covered up. So then we're going to go into some other ways of looking. Right? So we're going to start with the legs here. This is narrated by Abu Jahaifa. By chance, I went to the prophet at noon while he was at Al-Abta resting in the tent. Bilal came out of the tent and pronounced that Adhan for the prayer, and entertaining again, he brought out the water which was left after Allah's apostle had performed the ablution, right? The people rushed to take some of the water. Bilal again went in and brought out a spearheaded stick, and then Allah's apostle came out, as if I were now looking at the whiteness of his leg. Bilal fixed the stick, and the prophet offered a 2 rakat Zuhr prayer and a 2 rakat Asr prayer, while women and the donkey were passing in front of the prophet. Right? That is Sahih Bukhari 456-767. Let's continue. Anas, Allah be pleased with him, reported that Allah's messenger, may peace be upon him, set out an expedition to Khaybar and Khaybar, and we observed our morning prayer in early hours of the dawn. The apostle of Allah then mounted, and so did Abu Taha ride, and I was seating myself behind Abu Taha. Allah's apostle moved in the narrow street of Khaybar and a road so close to each other on the street that my knee touched the leg of Allah's apostle. A part of the lower garment of Allah's apostle slipped from his leg, and I could see the whiteness of his leg, of the leg of Allah's apostle. As he entered the habitation, he called Allah or Al-Akbar. And that was us. See, where it's at.
Sahih Muslim 83325.
Sahih Muslim 83325. All right, let's move on. This is Sahih Bukhari 18367. You can also see Sahih Muslim 19.4437 and 1. Narrated Abu Azid Anas said, when Allah's apostle invaded Khaybar, he offered the Fahir prayer there yearly when it was still dark. The Prophet rode and Abu Taha rode too, and I was riding behind Abu Taha. The Prophet passed through the lane of Khaybar quickly, and my knee was touching the thigh of the Prophet. He uncovered his thigh, and I saw the whiteness of his thigh, of the thigh of the Prophet. When he entered the town, he said, Allahu Akbar. Right? Let's move on to the next body part. The shanks. It says here, and Bilal stepped out with ablution water with them. Some of them got it, whereas others could not get it, and those who got it rubbed themselves with it. Then the apostle Allah, may peace be upon him, stepped out with a red mantle on him, and I was catching a glimpse of the whiteness of his shanks. That was in Sahih Muslim 41014. Okay, let's move on to his arms. This is narrated by Al-Mutahib. It says the apostle of Allah got up and going over to it, rolled up his sleeves. The narrator Tahir told that Al-Mutahib remarked, the one who told me about the apostle of Allah said, I still seem to see the whiteness of the forearms of the apostle of Allah. When he rolled up his sleeves, he then carried it and placed it at his head, saying, I am marking my brother's grave with it, and I shall bury beside him those of my family who died. That is Sunan Abu Dawood 23200. Let's move on to the armpits. Says the prophet added, I have preached you Allah's message. Abu Hamid said, then Allah's apostle raised his hand so high that we saw the whiteness of his armpits. That is in Sahih Bukhari 878, 631. And also in Abdullah bin Malik bin Abu Hina, when the prophet prayed, he used to separate his arms from his body so widely that the whiteness of his armpits was visible. Sahih Bukhari 18385U. A couple more accounts and stuff. I want to get all through that. Say the same thing about his armpits, like Sunan Abu Dawood 3898. We got Sahun Abu Dawood 31169, and then we have another one in Sahih Bukhari 990 342, narrated by Al-Bara bin Azib. The prophet was carrying earth with us on the day of the battle of Al-Azab, and I saw the dust was covering the whiteness of his abdomen. And he, the prophet, was saying, O Allah, without you, we would not have been guided, nor we have been given in charity, nor we would have been praised. Here we have another account in Sahih Muslim 1944-42. It has been reported on the authority of Bara, who said the messenger of Allah was carrying the earth to us on the day of Azab, and the whiteness of his belly had been covered with earth while engaging in this tour. Okay. We have another one, Sahih Muslim 4-1208. I saw the messenger of Allah pronouncing Talsim on his right and on his left till I saw the whiteness of his cheek. Sunan Abu Dawood 3991. We use the salutation to his left and right sides until the whiteness of his cheek was seen. That was narrated by Abdullah ibn Masud. Now the complexion of Muhammad. Chapter 26 of Sahih Muslim on the UMCNS website is entitled Chapter 26, Allah's Messenger had a white, elegant face. Jurari reported, I said to Tabu Tufil, did he see Allah's Messenger? He said, yes, he had a white, handsome face. That was in Sahih Muslim 35777. His general appearance, Sahih Bukhari 1363. At the time that the prophet was sitting amongst us and his companions, leaning on his arm, we replied, this white man reclining on his arm. And then addressed him, O son of Abdul Muttalib. Narrated Abdullah bin Dinar, my father said, I heard Ibn Umar reciting the poetic verses of Abu Talib. And the white person, i.e. the prophet, who was requested to pray for rain, who take care of the orphans, and is guardian of widows, Salim father said, the following poetic verse occurred in my mind while I was looking at the face of the prophet. while he was praying for rain. He did not get down till the rain water flowed profusely from every roof gutter. And a white person who was requested to pray for rain and who takes care of the orphans and the guardians of widows. And these were the words of Abu Talib. Sahih Bukhari, 456, 744. He was white and his beard was black with some white hair. Sahih Muslim 30, 57, 78. He had an elegant white color. Lord, let me share this screen. Screen. All right, you guys can see it. On other IDs, Sahih Bukhari 456, 747. He was a medium height amongst the people, neither tall nor short. He had a rosy color, neither absolutely white nor deep brown. In verse 7 and 748 of the same hadith, Allah's apostle was neither tall or short, neither absolutely white nor deep brown. And the same thing here. See, Sahih Bukhari 772, 787. The Prophet was neither conspicuously tall nor short, neither very white nor tawny. Sahih Muslim 30, 57, 94. Allah's messenger was neither very conspicuously tall nor short stature, and his color was neither glaringly white nor brown. So as we see here, as we saw here, what we're going to get into here. The actual color terms. Using here, right? And then we can move on to other civilizations and their representations. The Arabic basic color terms. There are 6 basic colors considered in the Arabic culture, namely black, white, red, green, blue, and yellow. Although the Arabs recognize 11 basic color terms, white, black, green, blue, red, yellow, gray, brown, pink, orange, or purple, like any other languages. For the purpose of conducting viability comparison in other languages, the present research studies 6 most commonly used colors in the Arabic culture and concentrated on human experience, which also included the process of their negative and positive meanings. Each color term uses 3 types of meaning. The basic meaning refers to the original meaning of the color terms, while extended meaning refers to the meaning extended from the original meaning to human experiences. And the additional meaning is the meaning which has been further abstracted from the extended meaning. In this study, the first basic meaning is always the earliest meaning. After that, the extended meaning is developed and the abstract meaning is the most recent extension of any given color. According to Zing, 2008, Tao, 1994, Baxter, 1993, Hayes et al. In 1972. White and black are the 2 colors which have the longest history among all the color terms in all languages of the world. This is also true in the Arabic culture because they are most contrasted and easily identified colors. As illustrated below, the Arab conveys a wide range of meanings to white collar term. Right? Now with that, take a little break. I'm gonna play y'all some music. Y'all can relax and get y'all some time to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. And we're gonna get in this play some 3 Degree Burns by Josh. I'll be right back.
By my will. True, my will initially formed by my addiction, but now strong enough to dictate the conditions of fulfilling my needs. Is that abstract? Whatever good is in you, I will use for my sustenance, and for you, you don't feel as though you haven't eaten in weeks.
Damn. It's fucked up, man. You know, that's always want to pretend like both sides they friends. Allah all praise to Yahweh. Still crushing egos. Swish goes the free throw. Strictly like fields, cold and dark. Medieval, rip your leaves trying to catch me. Blow chicks off the branch while they Nestle. Khabib when it comes to wrestling. Brainiac on tracks while y'all search for facts. Never lack, cause y'all give it. You malfunction like Titanic rivet. Yeah, I'd hit it. Turn your biscuit back to biscuit. Tired of caring for nitwits. Sizzle up and crisp it. Leave earth in ditches. Call this relief intention. Rinse in the word and flush turds. Crack your teeth like nerds. All y'all is curved. Sword swerves in the abdomen. Round you and you up like cattle pins. I thought it was about lyrics, not entertaining themselves. Niggas sell their soul for 3 degrees. Still got their motherfucking hands up when they free. Speak for the king, they want your belief. Instead of wisdom, you get grief. Niggas sell their soul for 3 degrees. Still got their motherfucking hands up when they freeze. Speak for the king, they want your belief. Instead of wisdom, you get grief. Destroyed my own, that's how I felt. Praising ain't about lip service. Damn shame, one critique make them nervous. Niggas is dried up like riverbeds. Deliver bird shit to their heads. Disrupt the feds, cause I'm fed up with them. What they gonna do? Remove me from pictures? Wisdom grows richer. Earthquake off the Richter. Dart penetrate the liver. Here's a lion. Initiate your dinner. Forgive the sinner. That's a real breadwinner. Children, team members. Blacks must become better swimmers. Mediterranean, yeah, it remembers. How can waters forget? Still catch fish in the net. In the way I jet. Text partner never recognize me as a gardener. But with their life, they want to barter. Niggas like to curse in front of the screen with their hands up, talking about Yasin. The Yamin, smack down all you bring, acting like you don't, but words sting. Niggas like to curse in front of the screen with their hands up, talking about Yasin. The Yamin, smack down all you bring, acting like you don't, but words sting. Niggas forget the Torah's inside. Within, they act like dead, lamb skin, mannequin ass bystanders doing nothing while we accept the pressure of the struggling. Meaning, y'all will do no good. Walk through the hood, cats get me down. Put the world on my back and stand on your lap. Cause you came off crack, that's just Jesus juice. Praise God, many have broke loose, yet many waste away. Still in the church to pay, or in a bootleg camp day. Don't know what God you pray. Y'all got a serpent on a pole. That's why David fell in a hole. Even the ground was swole. Josh, wipe away belief, now you know. Day after day, it's as if we go nowhere. Strategically, inject repair. Through sound and word care. Niggas sell their soul for 3 degrees. Still got their motherfucking hands up when they freeze. Speak for the king, they want your belief. Instead of wisdom, you get grief. Niggas like to curse in front of the screen with their hands up, talking about y'all sing. But y'all mean, smack down all you green, acting like you don't, but words sting.
Can't kill what's dead.
What?
Eternity's a long time. Get used to it.
Third Degree Burns by Josh. Here. All right. All right. So we got into these. We're getting into these colors in Islam. How they use it and how they were represented. Now, look for something. Always something around here. You'll never be ready. Never be ready. Always something. Oh. This is going to have to be. All right. All right. Can't wait. All right. You start with white, right? And as a color, the basic meaning white. The primary symbolism of this color, and this is in Arabic, white is al-biyaf.
Abius.
Abius is white in Arabic. The primary symbolism of this color is the color of nature, for which reason it is associated for, such as clouds, cotton, crystal, water, and air. B, extended meaning is clear, clean, and pure. These are the positive aspects of it. First, extended, clear, clean, and pure, meaning from the color white, with the positive assumption that if something is white, it is not stained and therefore clean. Meanwhile, innocence obviously refers to white clear idea. In other words, if one has a clear or pure mind, liberally, this person a clear tolerance of men. This person a clear tolerance of men. C, additional meaning, which is positive and negative. The second type is the additional meaning, which involves extension to more abstract meaning. Salah 2016, as shown below. I, future. The word future abstracted from white color, which means the positive outlook of hope. As good as white color, meaning as good as white color. Peace. Peace in Arabic culture refers to the end of war. Army holding white flag to show peace and settlement. Wedding. Another positive abstracted meaning is wedding, which refers to the white gown of a bride in her dowry or wedding ceremony in some Arabic cultures. The bride wears a white dress and puts 7 white things in front of a bride and groom: sugar, salt, water, milk, yogurt, mirror, silver white coins, to wish them happy and a good life, as implied by positive. Virgin. In the Arabic culture, the word normally refers to an unmarried female, as white as a virgin. Otherwise, Arab negatively associated red to her to signify the meaning of a stain or blood. Prayers. From the religious perspective, this refers to the positive meaning of purity, virtue, and innocence. And for this reason, Arabs normally wear white dresses during their pilgrimage or prayer as a sign of respect to their God and their religion. Dove. Dove holds the positive meaning, which is associated which is associated with white. A white dove implies the meaning of a messenger who is holding white or good news. In Arabic culture, to see white dove means to get good news in a happy future. Coffin. However, white has a strong negative association with shrouds and the pallor of death, and hence with spectral apparitions and death. Apparitions and death. In other words, the Arabic culture refers to the scene of death. The dead person buries with the white coffin. In addition, the meaning white is also extended in idiom as white hand, white heart, white face, white lies, white hair, white day. All these positive terms indicate the meaning of white in their cultural experiences as one, white hand, generous, kind, and humanitarian. White heart, kind and honest. White eye, blind, meaning the person being addressed is blind. White face meaning innocent and youthful person. White lies, as white lies and untruth told to spare feelings from politeness or from politeness. White hair. White hair refers to old age people or wisdom or good sense. White day. White day in Arabic culture indicates the abstract positive meaning of good, fine, and worthy day. White days. In the Arabic culture, the Arabic calendar 13, 14, 15, white days are associated with the moon growth. Now, let's go on to black, aswad. Color, basic meaning, black, in a negative sense. The primary symbolism of this color is the color of black hair, black eye. B, extended meaning, dark in a negative sense. From the anthropological extension of black in the Arabic culture, this color refers to the negative or to the unfavorable meaning or things such people do not like in the world, possibly because the lack of light and the transparency of darkness, such as the Dark Knight, Newton 2007 and Salah 2006. C, meaning positive and negative. The additional semantic function of black in the Arabic culture is associated with the negative meanings, as given in the following examples. 1, death. In the Arabic culture, black is related to funeral. In addition, women wear black dress to show their sadness for the dead people. Black hell. In Al-Quran, hell is usually associated as black and dark punishment and offerings. Past decades, black in the Arabic flag refers to the past decade's experience of war, which means death for our country and people. Black crowd, usually associated with black omen, sign and warning of danger. Black heart, this phrase is referred to as mean, cruel, or unkind. Black luck, this is a negative meaning which is used to refer to a black chance or fortune. Black cat, this is a common meaning of Arabic superstition, such as which is thought to cause bad luck. It is also important to highlight that the color black in Arabic culture is sometimes used with positive connotations, such as black petrol. This is usually applied to rich, powerful, and wealthy. Black eyes. This is a symbolism of beautiful black big eyes of Arab women. Black dress. This implies elegant, stylish, and smart. Some Arabs wear black abiyah, men and women, which signifies elegance and respect for their culture. Let's go into green. The color basic meaning green. The third color developed in the Arabic culture is green. Green is considered as a, before I go move on to green, I want to go back to what I said in the beginning about the hadith that said, the man that said, if anybody called the Prophet Muhammad black, he should be killed, right? So is that saying the Prophet, if anybody say that the Prophet Muhammad is black as an African person or a person of melanated descent or whatever, right? Is that saying that? Or is that saying that that anybody that calls Muhammad a bad person? a negative, cruel person, a dangerous person. You know what I mean? So we have to look at these words. If some of you people that might be Islamic scholars and stuff, leave your comments in the comment board on what are your ideas, or what knowledge can you share with us on that meaning? Also with the white, when it talks about the his white leg, his white abdomen, his white face, is that saying that the Prophet Muhammad is of Caucasian descent? How we say black or how we say white today. You know what I mean? White cannot, sometimes might have not meant a African or sub-Saharan person, right? Or white might not have meant a European Caucasian person. So we have to be careful when we look into these things, because you will also find later on in time, 15th century, 16th century and stuff, where the term black might be used and not actually represent a skin color when a person had the attribute or whatever put on their character or on their person. So this is really what I want to get at. And like I said, I want it to be fair. I wanted to be really fair about this. And later on, we're going to see how I'm going to go into other cultures too. And you will see like a lot of the cult nuts, the conspiracy nuts and stuff would use these things to say, see, he was black. See, he was white. And not actually understanding the actual culture or the time, the way people looked at these things. You guys get it. Right? 1 o'clock in the morning. All right. Wait a minute, y'all. Green. And how you pronounce green in Arabic is
Akbar.
Akbar. Color basically means green. The third color developed in the Arab culture is green. Green is considered a traditional color of Islam, and this is likewise due to association with nature. First, Muhammad was reliably quoted in hadith whereby water, greenery, and a beautiful face are the three universally good things. In the Quran, Surah Al-Insan, believers in Allah and Jannah wore fine green silk. Extended meaning, goodness. It is clear from the anthropological extension of green. This color refers to the positive and favorable meanings which people like the Arabic culture. In addition, green color refers to the meaning of truthfulness and goodness. Additional meaning. Traditionally, the additional semantic function of green in Arabic culture associated with the positive meaning in the example below. Green hand, generous, kind, and money. Just like how people say a green thumb, you're good at growing, like gardening and stuff like that. So we see in here how a lot of things in this Arabic culture and other cultures are played out the same way today in our American or English speaking culture. Green land, growth, natural, nature, grass, green palm trees. Green flag, the flag of the Arab, indicating green color, symbolizing the Islamist ideology. Green age, meaning young, youthful, vigorous, maturity. Green light is a good sign. Right? And then we go on to red. I was going to skip through some of these, the abstract meaning. The flag, the red flag meaning revolutionary army, brave army. Red cheeks, meaning you're shy. Red eye, meaning anger. Just like how the Bible, the New Testament, saying that Christ's eyes was red, flaming red with anger, right? Then we go on to blue and stuff like that, right? So if everybody want to come in and say something, there's the link. Now we're gonna move on to the next part. All right, so then we have that with the Arabic. Now, we get to some images here. All right. 1 second, people. Back on Muhammad and share my screen. As you see here, this is a picture of Ali chopping off the head. I forgot this guy's name, but what I wanted to get to on here, damn. Did I erase it? There's a part that I wanted that went with this picture. Something went with this picture. Damn it, I erased it. I'm sorry, but I'll just tell you what it is. There is a hadith that said, yeah, if Muhammad wants, okay, I'm gonna find it. Real quick. Muhammad, if you want to see Satan, all right, I don't see it. But basically, what it said, if you want to see Satan, look at this man. So I can go back to that picture. It says, look at this man, and that he is black, right? And it says all these different things. Nah, I gotta find this for you. I gotta hit this one. Okay. Okay, here it goes. And I shocked 243. It says the Allah apostle say, whoever wants to see Satan should look at Natal. He was a sturdy black man with long flowing hair. I want to get his full name here. Let's see. Full name. The man name is Nepal. Al Harif is his name. I just want to see the full scripture and his name. All right. All right. Screen. All right. It says right here. Said that Muhammad said, whoever wants to see Satan, let him take a look at Natal B. al-Harif. He was a sturdy black man, right? Well, it goes on to describe him and stuff like that. But he says that he's black, right? Now, this painting here is Ali chopping off the head of Natal. And as we see here in this painting, and I believe this painting is bullshit. That's some bullshit. Anyway, I had to date when this shit was. I looked. Wait. All right, I got it. This is from 50. Oh, it's from 1594. So how would we get? I don't know what that is. I guess it is, or whatever. Let's see if there's another image. That was the first one I went to. You see here, I've been. It says not here, but I think it's the same person. I believe it's the same person. Maybe I was wrong. So I'm right. Yeah. Is it the same person? Not here at that time? Sure. Picture comes up again because of I'm not sure. Well, that's questionable. If Islamic people out there could tell us if that's the same person, I might have jumped the gun on that. But what I was saying too, how they said that this person was black, right? But as we see here, him getting executed, is apparently Caucasian or Asian. Right? And then we have the Prophet Muhammad here, and he is perfectly white, completely white, while you would see the other men standing around him, different complexions of Caucasian. Some are darker, some are lighter. So the artist here actually made a real, you could tell here that maybe he's using a real, what he actually saw. and what these people actually look like. But when you get to Prophet Muhammad here, I don't know if his chair is on fire or what. That what it looks like. But that's an ill-ass throne that he's sitting up on. But he's completely white. As you see him, he's completely white. Sometimes these colors, the artist will make the color of the person appear as a certain stature of that person. So if the person was the person might have wider eyes, meaning that he is more important than the other people that are in the picture. He might have a different skin tone. He might have a different size head. His body might be larger than the rest of the people, signifying that they're of more importance than the other. So the artist like shows these little things like that to actually put things across. Be like, yo, he white. Yup. Completely white. You can't even see his face. So maybe the man never existed. As you see here, you see all the other, maybe those are rulers or people of higher stature and stuff. Yeah. All right. This right here is and knowing the indigenous Europeans. Now we see the way that they look, right? Now this is also the same color that they use for Egyptians. But look at their appearance. Is that a Caucasian man? Or is that a black man? A so-called African? See? We got to stop, like, bullshitting with ourselves. Once again, this could be a man that's very tan out in the sun. The man is naked. So his whole body could be tan from the sun. But look at the color of his hair. Is that a real hair color? So the artists use different things to represent certain things. Could this be because his, say, many cultures along the Mediterranean portrayed their people as reddish color? Right? They also say Esau is red now. Now you also see that. It's going on top of some other places. Look, this is the same color these Egyptians here. Look, now you see Egyptians here darker, and you see some people there, whoever they are, lighter skin. See, Nubian, different colors they use here. They use the same color for the Libyans that they did for the Asians. You see that? You see that? And the Egyptian is that dark, that red color. And look, Sub-Saharan is the jet black. But the Libyan and the Asian, now Libyan, people consider them African, right? But look at their skin color. Look at the Asian. Something else. Look, see? Look here. See? Another one gonna pop up now. Look. This person portrayed as jet black. Does that really mean that they were jet black? Look at this person in dark. Look at that person. Get to this one thing. I think it's the very first one. Look at this. Could this be the reason they were painted that color? Look, that's a red dye that's put on their skins. Now look at the person right here. Look, not bullshit, y'all. Look. Look at the person in the bottom right-hand corner. They jet black. Look at that woman in the top left. How would she be portrayed in art? Look at this woman right here. Towards the middle on the right. The bottom middle. How would she be portrayed in art? There's one thing I was taught, like in art class, about artistic license. Giving your own version of portraying whatever you're doing. Someone could give you some artwork to do, and you're going to use your artistic license to make the things represent what you want to like represent in your own way. You might be accomplishing the task, but you're doing it in your own way. Look. Look. Look, dark-skinned man with a light-skinned woman. That's clear. That's clear. She's obviously painted with a different color. And you can't say hers is faded out. Because you see this guy here is faded out and the color is totally different. See? There you have it again. And look at her hair texture. And look at this man's hair texture. Could it be that she's Caucasian? Could it be? Look here. You using yellows and reds. Okay. Look at this. Look at here. Green person. Green mummy. Does that mean that the person is green? Is that saying that? See, I started out a little slow and shit. I'm getting in on it now. See? You see that? He's green. Does that mean that's a green person? That the people back then was green? These things represented nature and stuff like that. What the persons represent was also put in their skin color. This person might have actually lived. This is a coffin. This person actually lived. And he's green. Does that mean that they had green Egyptians? Look, some more pictures of it. Okay? We go some more. Green people. Green. Look at it. Look at this. Look. Green. Green face over mummy coffin. See? But this one, look at that one. Look at these muffy coffins. Why are they not green? Look. Why are they brown? Is that because they were black? Is that why? And so we got people that's green too. Look, some are gold. We got to ask ourselves this before we jump the gun. Look at here. Look at Osiris. Green. Green. And he's an image of a man. He ain't no animal or no crazy shit. He green. And he might not always be represented green in art. See? Y'all see what I'm talking about? Look at this. This be represented as blue. Why is that? Is it because Bess was blue? Or he represented something that the color blue represented? The goddess Nut. This might not be actual. Look at Nut right here. Look at Toph. Jet ass black. No, that's not Toph. That's jet black. Right? Malachite. That's the stone that they would break up to make the dyes. Coffee. The Egyptians. Here we go. This is the picture down. Look at this one. Funerary statue of Renotep and Nofret. Right? Egyptian Museum in Cairo, 2500 BCE. Now, some people would say this ain't a real artifact. But we see in the tombs telling you where this woman's supposedly from. They show her on the wall. They show her people on the walls of being her complexion. And it's in Africa. If I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, if this woman's not a Libyan. And she also had blue eyes. She also has blue eyes. Look at this. The people of Pompeii. You can tell these are a mixed people. Some of these people are mixed. Or might not just be not, that might be like something that might not have to be mixed. Right? Look at his hair. Maybe just from his region. That's just how they look. It might not even be no mixture. Just because someone's black doesn't have to make them from Africa. Or get dark or whatever, however. Like, you know what I mean? Well, it's obvious stuff, but you know, in some cases, like there might not be, who knows? Where, because nobody can tell us where we came from. There was people already in the Americas. How they get there? Are they half black, half white? I'm just there asking questions. Look at here. Same people, different skin tone. Some of these people might be in the house. A lot of people would say that some of these people would be outside more than some other people. So the artist would paint them a lighter shade. And now this is supposed to be a black man. This is an actual artifact. A portrait of Severus, right? All you Hebrew Israelites and other Afrocentric nut jobs would say that, right? You say that Septimius Severus is a black man. So why he look like that? In 200 CE painted at Altismar Museum in Berlin. Y'all tell me that. Look, skin color could not could also be used. I'm sorry, skin color could also be used to indicate other features of identity. Darker skin, for instance, was associated with age. Lighter skin with youth. Children were often depicted with light-colored skin, regardless of gender. In this portrait of the family of the Roman Emperor Septimius Severus, Septimius' skin was distinctly than the dog, but Caracalla's skin is even a little paler than his mother's. There's other sons. Geta's face was obliterated in antiquity after Caracalla became emperor and assassinated his brother. See this? You see how color plays out with the artist? The degree in which skin color was emphasized as a feature in art also varied between cultures and across time. These two examples of extrusion tomb art from Tarquinia show how much variation there could be even within the same community. While both follow the dark men, like women pattern, gender is also marked by differences in clothing, hairstyle, and activity. One makes the distinction very stark and schematic, while the other is more subtle. See? They also did that in Greece. In Greek art, the men were painted black where the women were painted white. Does that mean there were a bunch of black and white women? Same thing, like I said about the up top. When I showed this up top, when I showed that, what could that represent? Could that mean that are actually white? But we see evidence that, hey, it's Africa. We think everybody black in Africa. Were they really? Or is this just the artist using his artistic license or actually telling another story other than what we're looking at that we can physically see, or what our common way of looking at things in our civilization and in America today would look at this? See? The women painted lighter than the men, where the men are dark skinned. Banquet scene from Tomb of Shields, 340 BCE. Look at here. Look at the pottery. In many cases, skin color of human figures in ancient art are dictated by the choice of medium more than a desire to convey any message. You see this? Because of the substrates they use in the people are a certain color. And Hebrew Israelites used to teach us that the Greeks was black. They say, you look at the old artwork, you're going to see black people. Talking about these paintings right here. See that? See the men? Those are white men right there. Those are Greeks. As you see here, here's the women. They're light on the other side. Actually, that might be a man, and he's painted white. The man over here painted black. Am I bullshitting? He says, the stone represents the spirituality of the situation. The crystals and the stones hold great power. See? Y'all think I'm bullshit. This statue of the Tetrarchs, 4 emperors who governed the Roman Empire in a short-lived experiment to enjoy rule, is carved out of porphyry, a very hard stone, with a dark purple hue. The stone was chosen for several reasons, partly because of the traditional association of purple with imperial power, and partly because the dense, hard stone suggests the strength of the institution of the joint rulers who were trying to create. the realistic depiction of skin tone was not a priority. But these fools that was saying, there's a black man, there's a black man right there, there's a black man. See? When you know better, you do better. When depicting beings beyond the human realm, skin color could carry many other meanings. The Egyptian god of the dead, Osiris, was traditionally depicted with green skin, symbolic of regrowth and new life. In these wall paintings, the green skin Osiris appears in two different scenes in the company of other gods. Similarly, the Etruscan god Karu, who was responsible for guiding the souls of the dead into the afterlife, was typically sewn with blue skin, representing decaying flesh. Do black people turn blue when they die? I don't know. I think white people look blue, I think. I'm not sure. Let's see. I don't know. Whatever. Sometimes ancient artists use skin color to indicate ethnicity in ways that are easy for us to recognize, such as this vase represents two women's faces. The light-skinned woman's features, such as her pointed nose, thin lips, and wavy hair, suggests that she is meant to be of European descent, while the black-skinned woman has features characteristic of sub-Saharan African origin, such as flat nose, full lips, and tightly coiled hair. How many Egyptian images have you seen look like that woman on the left? This is a question. That's from 525-10 BCE from Greece. In other cases, we cannot be entirely sure what the skin color of ancient art is meant to convey. This fresco from Minoan Knossos depicts bull leapers in distinctly different skin tone, but it is difficult to be sure what significance, if any, that difference has. It may be meant to show differences in gender, although the features similar proportions, clothing, and hair do not confirm it. It might be intended to indicate people of different ethnic origins. Alternatively, it could be simply for aesthetic variation. We do not know enough about Minoan culture and its conventions for representing ethnicity, gender, and other identities in art to be certain. See that? That's a damn red woman. Bright red. That's a 1450 BC. As for literary descriptions of skin color, we have approached ancient artistic representations with a cautious awareness of how far removed we are from the cultures that created them. The artists who made these images and the patrons who commissioned them did not share many of our basic assumptions about what skin color means and how it should be represented. Their cultural context was unlike ours, and they created the works to communicate with other people of their place and time, not to send time capsules to a millennia later. It is not enough for us to scroll through museums or flip through pages or artworks looking for faces that look the way we think people of different ethnic origins ought to look. Ancient art is not a representative snapshot of ancient demographic. Y'all comedic heads. Ancient art is not representative is not a representative snapshot of ancient demographics. Art represents what people consider important, not necessarily the reality of the world they live in. In a world in which privilege, power, and identity were not wrapped up with race in the same way they are today, the representation of race in art was much less a priority. Just because ancient artists, like ancient writers, often chose not to depict skin color as a defining mark of ethnic identity, does not mean that they did not live surrounded by people of all different hues with ancestry spanning the globe. This is how I said someone tried to get at me about the video I did yesterday on Europa, how Europa was a Phoenician goddess. So the nut jobs obviously want to say that she was black. But if you look at the timeline of Greek mythology and what was going on at the time, Phoenicia was named after the Greeks. The Greeks named Phoenicia. Phoenicia is a Greek word. And at that time, you had the sea people at the beginning of the Greek mythology. You had later on the written when Greek mythology was oral. Then you had what in like the 700 BC is when it was actually written. I believe that's when they started writing putting the mythological ideologies and stuff on paper or whatever they're writing on. At that time, when this story of Europa being this Phoenician princess or whatever, right? There was white people already in that area. They've been in that area. And you will only find Europa in Greek mythology. You will not find Europa anywhere else in the world outside of Greek mythology. So then they will want to say, well, the Egyptians learned all their gods from the Greeks. That is not true. And they want to talk about Herodotus. Herodotus never said that all the Greek gods come from Egypt. What Herodotus did was take comparison when he was speaking to people. When he's speaking to the people, he can tell you the equivalent of what we call this person today. Just like Jesus, how the Kemetic had to say, well, Jesus is Osiris or Heru or whatever, right? Yeah, Heru. So does that mean that it came from that? No, that is what they chose to say to give you an idea of what this God represented, or say, oh shit, man, what's the name? That's like Jesus, nigga. He was like Jesus. Oh, Chris was just like Jesus. He was like Jesus, nigga. That doesn't necessarily mean that shit came from there, because we got people on the other side of the world telling the same stories. That don't mean that they got that shit from them, but they see things like the sun, they see things like the water, they see things like the plants coming up green, and they make deities that are green that represent the earth. They make deities that are black that represent death or darkness. You go around the world, you're gonna see the colors representing the same shit. Most cases that I've seen, or that I know of, if y'all see anything different, leave it in the comments below. But y'all gotta keep this shit 100. I ain't gonna let y'all just be talking, just saying shit. Just because some kooky motherfucker say that shit. Some kooky so-called Egyptologists or whatever. They ain't got no degree or whatever the fuck. You got niggas talking about they knew about the goddamn Metal Netter. How the fuck you know the Metal Netter, nigga? And you ain't been in the motherfucking Egypt. Niggas talking about they know Metal Netter and they can read all the things on the wall and they only 25 years old or whatever the fuck. Or 30 years old. Where you got the man that got the title of deciphering the metal letter. This motherfucker spent all his goddamn life just to be able to write the shit. And you think some nigga gonna come up and just do that shit in 5 years? Is y'all fucking crazy? Y'all gotta wake up. That's right. Y'all leave this motherfucker till be talking that shit. Y'all motherfuckers gotta leave the room. I don't want to hear that goddamn shit. Killer B always talking shit. But am I wrong? Can you prove me wrong, nigga? Can you prove me wrong? And that's what the comment board is for. And the chat room is for. Yeah, you got people still popping in and out of here and shit. They still popping in and out. I'm going to put that damn thing up in here. You come out here and shoot your shit if y'all think different than what I'm saying. All right? Like I said, the ancient art is not a representative of ancient demographics. Right? Finish reading this where I left off. Just because ancient artists like ancient writers often chose not to depict skin color as a defining mark of ethnic identity does not mean that they did not live surrounded with people of different hues with ancestry spanning the globe. As with how we read literature, we have to learn to read ancient art in new ways if we are to make sense of it as evidence for the diversity of ancient Mediterranean societies. I think I skipped over some shit. Okay. What race in the ancient Greeks and Romans? It sounds like a simple question. Okay, part 4, skin color and art. In the previous post, we looked at how the Greeks and Romans wrote about skin color. Today, we look at how they represented it in art. And looking at how ancient artists handle skin color, we have to begin by recognizing not all ancient artworks have come down to us intact or preserving their original colors. We must especially shake off the association of ancient art with gleaming white marble. Marble was favored in sculpture in ancient Mediterranean because the stone is slightly translucent, and it reacts to light in a way similar to human skin. But marble statues were not usually left white. They were painted, often in bright colors, which have faded and disappeared entirely over thousands of years of exposure. We get to more accurate sense of how ancient artists represented skin color. We have to choose our sources carefully and look for types of artwork that hold color better over time, that have been protected from exposure. This is very true, because you can have ink pigments, they're exposed to certain elements, they can change color totally. For this, or not saying that this is true, but say something that's purple, right? And over time, it might come out blue. So you thinking one thing, you looking at the painting that is purple, that was originally purple, but now after 3,000-4,000 years, you look at it, that shit's blue, right? The red color is eaten up by the sun. And this is with me being a printer, I noticed like when doing like signs and shit, you got like you see, you go to your bodega, right? Now I want y'all to pay attention to this. Y'all go to your little bodegas or your little stores and stuff out there that got full color signs on the front of the store, or it might have the vinyl signs over the window. Now, if you pay attention to the location of that store and where it is in the proximity of the sun rising and setting, you will notice that the red and yellow colors on the sign fade first before blue, black, purple, and browns and shit like that. You see only the reds and the yellows and like the orange, like the things of red and yellow will fade very fast, over something that's black or blue that might not have any fade over a certain period of time. Well, when you look at the red and the yellow at that period of time, it would fade drastically. It's just the way dyes and inks work. Sun bleach, right, B? Although people in ancient Mediterranean were aware that human skin tones could vary widely, they did not attach the same meaning to the variations that we tend to today. Since skin color was not a primary way of marking ethnic identity, artists could use it to convey their meanings or simply for decorative effect. Sometimes you might have, like this is what the Greeks did too. They painted people certain colors because the art looked dope. On certain substrates, certain mediums, the art didn't, the ink colors didn't pop the way they would behind certain other colors. And that goes through with graphic arts and people that do graphic arts. There's certain colors you don't put together. And when you're trying to portray a certain thing, you're not going to take these colors and put them together. This is how we have now with advertising. Certain colors represent certain things. You find a lot of fast food joints. It's people that want you to spend money. You see a lot of yellows and reds. Things that want you to move fast and stuff. You might see some greens. All these things represent certain attributes. And they work together the same way. This is how the colors might not look visibly. The feeling that you get when these colors are put together might make you feel a certain way. Where certain colors that make you feel, when you look at them, they make you feel gloomy or sad. You know what I mean? It's all how you put all this stuff as meaning. Or it might make you sad and also might not make you want to spend money. Or might not make you want to get up and do something or be active or whatever, right? It was widespread custom in the ancient Mediterranean to use skin color as an indicator of gender. Men were often portrayed with dark reddish brown skin, women with pale yellow white skin. This artistic convention reflects a conventional ideology in which the society acceptable activities for men were agriculture and war, outdoor occupations which exposed them to the sun. So, in other words, you will paint a man that color. So, or say it like this, right? You got to do, and you paint him like you would paint. Look, let me read the woman part, right? For a man to be pale, look, this is what I was saying. I never read this before I turned this video down. Just to let you guys know too. So I'm saying stuff and now I'm reading like what I was just saying on my own. For a man to be pale suggests that he worked indoors at trades that, though necessary for society, were less prestigious. Similarly, for women to appear dark-skinned suggests that she had to work outside the home, implying that her household was not rich enough to be self-sustaining. While patrons directed artists to depict them with conventional skin colors, they were responding to the social pressure to look their best. See? So if there was a lazy bum-ass nigga and shit, right? In actuality, you would paint him paler in that time period, right? He was a bum-ass nigga. He wasn't out there, but he wanted his picture painted. Right? If somebody painted him that knew him, right? And knew some other people he hang out with or whatever, they would paint him lighter because that nigga he ain't got no job and shit. But that hard working motherfucker, that dude, excuse my language, that hard working dude, they will pay him dark as hell, like dark red, because he worked. But the dude that don't work, they'll paint light. But now, if that person that don't work, that bum ass dude that don't work, get his own personal artist, I want you to paint a portrait of me, right? This shit. That artist better not put that light skin tone on him. You better make me dark, because he want to look good. Just like you might be a bummy ass dude, but when you go for like a picture or something, like you want to look good. Same thing as women. Women won't get in front of the camera and stuff. Let's fix their hair or do something crazy. Know what I mean? She might be a sloppy ass chick that don't. Know what I'm saying? Shit don't be popping for her like that. But she get in front of a camera, she gonna try to make herself look better than what she is. It's the same thing. I think I read this. Yeah, I read. That's what I started reading. There you have it. You read that. We already showed you that. What else I got? Same color old ancient mosaics. Me and Pete chilling tonight. They don't want to hear this because this messes with their ideology. It messes with their mind. They don't want to hear this information. This is real information. And just like how an artist can teach a historian something, or an artist can teach an archaeologist something about art, where archaeologists might look at the artifact and say all types of crazy shit, but artists be like, they painted that person that color because of this or because of that. And now that archaeologist got to be like, take that shit into consideration. He an archaeologist. He looking at dates and digging up shit and whatnot. With an artist has a history of knowing ancient art and how they painted things. They researched a different thing. And that's how, like, these people, they get together and come up with conclusions of what, how, and why people live the way that they did. Color in ancient Egypt was used not only in realistic representations of scenes from every. Color in ancient Egypt. Color in ancient Egypt was used not only in realistic representations of scenes from every life, but also illustrated the heavy realms of the gods, the afterlife, and the stories and histories of the deities of the Egyptian pantheon. Each color had its own particular symbolism. It was created from elements found in nature. Egyptologist Margaret Brunson writes how artisans began to observe the natural occurrences of colors and in their surroundings and pulverize various oxides and other materials to develop the hues they desire. And you can look at this like as a form of alchemy too. These people taking colors that represent certain things, and now they could be using these certain oxides or these certain materials, these stones and stuff, and they're put together, and these things actually bring on a certain feel or thought or sight or, like, you know what I mean, or effect on the human body or the human mind, psyche or whatever, depending on the colors and the materials and what the materials and the colors represented. and all types of stuff like that. When you deal with sorcery and stuff like that, you deal with a lot of things like that. Casting spells, like things that have to do, have certain effects. Like you might want to harm somebody. You might use herbs that are hot or spicy and stuff like that to get rid of this person, or do something, whatever you're trying to do to the person. Or you love somebody, you want to bring somebody closer to you, or you want someone to be nicer to you. You might cast a spell and use certain herbs that are sweet, or certain herbs that are pleasant, that represent love or nice or kindness or stuff like that. It's the same thing. But people use that and forget to use it when you're dealing with art or literature and stuff like that, right? The surrounding profiles. This process of Egyptian artists creating colors for their art dates to the early dynastic period, 3150 to 2613 BCE, but becomes more pronounced during the time of the Old Kingdom, 2613 to 2181 BCE. From the Old Kingdom until the country was annexed by Rome in 30 BCE, color was an important component in every work of art fashioned by the Egyptians. Realism in color. Each color was created by mixing various naturally occurring elements, and each became standardized in time in order to ensure a uniformity in artwork. Egyptian male, for example, was always depicted with a reddish-brown skin, which was achieved by mixing a certain amount of the standard red paint recipe with standard brown. Variations of the mix would occur in different eras, but overall remain more and less the same. This color for male skin was chosen for realism in the piece in order to symbolize the outdoor life of most males, while Egyptian women were painted with lighter skin, using yellow and white mixes, since they spent more time indoors. The gods were typically represented with gold skin, reflecting the belief that gods did in fact have gold skin. An exception to this is the god Osiris, who is almost always shown with green or black skin, symbolizing fertility, regeneration, or the underworld. Just like Set is shown black. See, Osiris was murdered, returned to life by Isis, and then descended to rule over the land of the dead. The color used in his depictions all symbolize aspects of his story. Whether a scene shows a man or and his wife at dinner, or the gods in the solar barge, each color had to accurately represent the various themes of the events. Color and creation and symbolism. The different colors below are listed with their Egyptian names following the materials used in creating them and what they symbolize. The definitions follow the work of Richard H. Wilkinson and his Symbolism and Magic in Egyptian Art, in the Margaret Bunsen Encyclopedia of Ancient Egypt, supplemented by other works. As you can see here, people with different skin. Red, made from oxidized iron, red ochre, used to create flesh tones and symbolizing life, but also evil and destruction. Red was associated with both fire and blood, and so symbolized vitality and energy. See? But could also be used to insinuate a certain danger or define a destructive deity. See? You have red, you got danger. Stop. You got a red sign, right? The god Set, for example, who murdered Osiris and brought chaos to Egypt in the beginning of time, was always represented with a red face or red hair or completely red. I could have sworn it said black too. It might say that. One of these sees this pattern in written work where the color red is sometimes used to signify a dangerous character. or aspect of in the story. In wall painting, just like in voodoo, you have they will say petro spirits and stuff. They're fiery spirits, they're hot spirits, meaning they're angry, they're fast working, they're aggressive. Where you have the other spirits that aren't petro and stuff and be easier to work with. They're more calm or more easier to control or whatever you say. In wall paintings and tomb scenes, red must be carefully interpreted within the context of the scene. Although it was frequently used to emphasis of danger or even evil, it also as commonly seen symbolizing life or a higher being, as in the depictions of the Eye of Ra, or elevated status as in the red crown of Lower Egypt. I heard it in blue. Blue, one of the most popular colors commonly referred to as Egyptian blue, made from copper and iron oxides with silica and calcium, symbolizing fertility, birth, rebirth, and life, and usually used to depict water and the heavens. Wilkerson writes, at the same token, blue could signify the river Nile and its associated crops, offering and fertility, and also in many of the so-called actual reproductive rate of the organism or population measured by the number of eggs, seed sets, or asexual propagates, whatever that word is. Figures which represent the river bounty are in this hue. Statue and depictions of the god Thoth are routinely blue, blue-green, or have some aspect of blue in them, making the god of wisdom with the life-giving heavens. Blue also symbolizes protection. Fertility elements of the protector god Bes, which I showed earlier, were often blue, as were the tattoos women would wear of Bes or diamond-shaped patterns on their lower abdomen, back and thighs. It is thought that these tattoos were worn as amulets to protect women during pregnancy and childbirth. See? Now we have Isis here, being yellow. And you see different, I don't know, that could be from the fading of color and stuff like that. You see different parts of the body. I don't know if this is like an outfit she got on. That might be an outfit. You can see that her feet are a different color, and you got a little dividing thing. So she's got like a little outfit. But her arms are yellow, but her face is another color too. But that could be because of faded paint, whatever. Yellow, made from the ochre and oxide, originally from the New Kingdom. 1570 to 1069 BCE, was mixed from the arsenic trisulfide and symbolizing the sun and eternity. Yellow was darkened for the golden flesh color of the gods, or lightened with the white to suggest purity. See, they use white for purity also, to suggest purity in some sacred aspect of the character or object. Isis, for example, is always depicted with gold skin and a white dress, but sometimes her dress is in light yellow to emphasize her eternal aspect in the scene, the story. It is thought that priests and priestesses of the gods of Egypt would sometimes dress as their deities. And Wilkerson suggests that priests of the god Anubis will color their skins yellow on certain occasions to become the god for the event. Although Anubis was traditionally represented as black skin, there are a number of texts that put them with gold hue of the other gods. Green color. Face painting. As you can see here, damn, $2. Yep, Pete. Yep. Colors are used in spells. Things that herbs and other like elements and stuff like that of color are also used in spell work. As you can see here, you got this man here, black. Picture of Apollo you can't include. Does that mean that's a black man? Who knows? The Potter's Workshop. Once again, the artist could make him that color to stand out from the rest of the art. See, it's on black for the athletes. See, you got these men painted black. Right. Hercules with follows other centaurs on the Skypos by the Philo painter, 580 BC, found in Corinth. See, if they wanted to paint these people light skin, it wouldn't look good on the art. So the artist would make people certain colors so the pot would look good. You make the pot sellable, just like how they do today. If you wanted to sell a pot today, like some pottery today, would you make a yellow pot and put some yellow characters on that shit? No. You might put some red birds on there, some black birds, or some other common birds. You want to put a character on there with this almost the same hue as your background, because it wouldn't be appealing to the eye and nobody will want to buy it. Same thing goes here. Look at this. Like I was talking about before, how the men are painted black and the women were painted white. Is that a black man trying to jig up a white woman? No. Those are two Greeks. See, you got more contrast. You got a white horse and a black horse. How would this painting look on this thing, this whatever you want to base or whatever, right? The picture. How would it look if they both had the same colored horse? Here we have some art like that. See how that pops? Some big butt females. 570 BC. Are those black women? Are those black women? You got a big behind. What's an Israelite woman? Women here. The man painted as black, the women painted as white. And this is obviously a picture of a Caucasian person. See, they both got the same hair. And I bet this is a symbolism too. And you see how the women's eye are? It's like one dot. And how the men's eye has like a dot within another dot. That could be some symbolism. Like when we did that thing with when Chris Harris had to get at him about the same thing. I got at EMAC or whatever about Cheddar, supposed to be Cheddar Lamar, and one person said it was somebody. It was an ancient artifact, right? And the name of the artifact was called the Ruler. It was because they didn't know who it was, but you had pseudo scholars that was trying to tell people who it was, but they had no clue who it was. But the artists, but the archaeologists and the people that study art knew that they called him the Ruler because of how the art was portrayed. The man had really big eyes. That was something at that time that made you signify who was the ruler or who was the most predominant ruling person or the most important person. Would be by his head, the size of his eyes, or the size of his hands, maybe, or the size of his head. Next time you look at artifacts, pay attention to that, where a king would be larger than the servants would be, like drastically larger than the servants. Playing checkers. Playing spades or something. And those are obviously white people. Look at their noses. Look at their noses. But the Israelites tell you that they're black. And I believe this for 20 years. That the Greeks, the original Greeks, is black. We was taught by Tahar and them that all the people of the earth was black, except the Edomites. We have it here with the red. Red and the black. It's a lot of art. It's a huge Wikipedia article. I didn't realize it was that big. I was wondering where all that artwork was coming up. Look, wrestling match between Hughes and Atlanta. See? During the funeral games of King Hughes. 550 BC. And I believe that's a woman that's painted in white. And when a male is black. You see all the other males is black, and you got one female right there that's painted white. It is. Get up out of here soon while they're at 2 hours. What do you think of the video, Pete? That's right. Tell us why you're mad, son. Tell us why you mad. It's a good time, y'all. Hit that goddamn thumbs up button or hit that thumbs down. And tell us why you mad. That's right. Tell us why you're mad. We had Willie Grits out here and shit in a minute telling us why to tell us that. Oh man. Let me get him out of here soon. We got 6 likes and 1 down. We always get that 1 thumbs down. There's never 2 thumbs down. It's only that 1. That one hating evil ass nigga. I can't stand that goddamn son of a bitch killing me. That nigga always meddling in our business. He always meddling in our cult business. Oh man. Okay. Firing process. A lot to do with a lot of stuff. So between the beginning of the 6th and the end of the 4th century BCE, black and red figures techniques were used in Athens to decorate fine pottery, while simpler undecorated wares fulfilled the everyday household purpose. With both techniques, the potters first shaped the vessel on the wheel. Most sizable pots. I forgot what slip is when you're sculpting. Slip is something. I forgot what a slip was. This don't got too much on it. I kept running by that to the slip. Oh, right. Yeah, certain odd things they use to fire the pottery and stuff cause the stuff to change its color. So y'all gotta do something. I'll give y'all niggas 2 hours. But look, we have here details of triumph from Dionysus, Otho Cyprus. That a man with a snake on his goddamn head. Oh, snap. So we have people here. Look, that's a dark-skinned person. What is that representing? Is that representing a black person? He's obviously bound up. You got the Minotaur or whatever. As you can see here, men painted darker than the women. You got the boy here a little lighter color too. You can tell these are young men. They're lighter color. See color in the ancient mosaics and why it matters. Margaret Talbot. These discuss the use of color in ancient Roman and Greek statues. The article argues that the academics have known for centuries that the marble figures were covered in bright paint, but chose to ignore it was so that we, the viewers of ancient statues, now believe they're intentionally white. Okay. This might be a little creepy side. Check it out. The reason are multiple, according to Talbot. Among them is that, I heard of that name before, Margaret Talbot. Among that, up until recently, excavation techniques were rudimentary, and if a statue was discovered covered in earth and undisturbed pigment, it will quickly be hosed down to reveal the marble beneath. Snobbery, aesthetics, and overt racism, the idea of whiteness being equated with purity and goodness. Here we go. Are also given to factors behind this collective evolution. Okay. Here we have some more pottery here. We have dark-skinned people beating up some light-skinned people. We got one dark-skinned dude look like he just threw somebody off the roof. It's supposed to be a mosaic of the Tower of Babel. So far, so interesting, but only up to the point. For one thing, the debate about pigmentation in on ancient statues has been alive and well for a long time and has not been ignored. See clip below about the 19th century. We go another one here. We got some bound, maybe Africans there. Since we see a giraffe, so I guess they are African. A black woman, a white woman, white man walking with lions and shit. Without denying the sovereign, skewed adolescent, and entrenched racism with sniffy issues, my view is that the whiteness of classical statues had more to do with an inquisitiveness and archaeological and aptitude than any other factors. For hundreds of years, ancient artifacts were amassed by the wealthy in scant regard for the general art, historical, and importance. Collectors were purely concerned about how they looked in their grand hallways and pigments. Fake floors were routinely hacked away, discarding the rest because it wasn't interesting enough or was too difficult to remove as a whole. Be that as it may, the article also covers the subject of how colors in statues would have been used in their original state. The academics who specialize in examining marble for tiny flecks of remaining pigment, usually in discrete crevices of the body, ears, nostrils, and side lips, are quoted giving their theories on how the stone faces and bodies would once have looked. So you see here, this is a person using multiple colors and stuff to create. That's from the 2nd century AD. Figures that were definitely painted would have looked entirely lifelike, particularly in low and flickering light. She goes on to include a fascinating quote from Mark A., professor of ancient art in the University of Georgia. When you went into a place, the divide between what was sculpture and what was actual life was fluid and highly theoretical. You go to a dinner party in Pompeii, and there are statues of nude homoerotic youths and in the old noble Greek tradition. And then are actual slave boys that look just like those well-tanned bronzes. And at first they're standing still, and then they move. Detail of Hermes torso. You can see where this is leading to. We have an article devoted to skin color in ancient sculpture. We have a concept of optical illusion brought up and examined, but we do not have a single mention of ancient mosaics or frescoes for that matter. Not one, despite the fact that the ancient mosaics from the time period as a classical sculpture used color expertly and precisely. Not a single academic says, by the way, just look down and you'll see what color the original statue might have been. Stone doesn't significantly wear away. Pigments don't flake off it. No amount of hosing will remove the color. And people couldn't possibly idealize whiteness in them because they are colored through and through. Moreover, the floors, walls, and statues all play part in the visual trickery so beloved by the Romans. So let's look at the mosaics to consider the question of polychromy in ancient art. There we got. That's obviously African. The white dude sitting down on the rock. Ostrich on the lead held by a dark-skinned man, 6th century AD. Baptistery of Moses, Mount Nebo, Jordan. Skin color in ancient mosaics and polychromy. Hold on for a minute. While I climb down off my high horse and brush myself down, I want you, by which I mean Talbot and all the polychrome academics, to look at mosaics and see what is right there in front of their noses. As I'm amazed, I have to do this. It's so obvious, it's ridiculous. The designers, artists, and makers of ancient mosaics were not shy about skin color. All shades and races are clearly depicted. Tablet and others explain that the ancients had different attitudes to our own. Several scholars explain that though ancient Greeks and Romans certainly noticed skin color, they did not practice systematic racism. They owned slaves, but this population was drawn from the wide range of conquered people, including Gauls and Germans. Okay, that's not true. She writes in the New Yorker, this is backed up by Sarah Bond writing in forwards about whitewashing ancient statues. Romans had a great variety of skin tones within their Mediterranean world. Frescoes, mosaics, and painted ceramics from both the Greek and Roman periods reveal a fascination with black Africans and particularly Ethiopians, but did not employ what W.D. Bois would call a color prejudice. The ancient mosaics were adept in handling color. Mosaicists were adept in handling color, whether it be folds of cloth or glisten on a cricket's wings. If they wanted to depict blackness or whiteness, they did so along with the whole spectrum in between. The method they used could be indefinitely subtle, with careful gradation of stone and glass to depict shadows, tones, and bone structure. Of course, I recognize that a mosaic is not a statue, but there are many points of comparison. It is plainly absurd to ponder the issues of original skin color in statues without looking at other ways the flesh tones were represented in ancient. As we see here, like they use different tones to show shadows in your face. That's how artists and stuff. We use cross hashing to show death, to make death in the picture. Show shadows and different where the sun can be shining from. I'm glad I got off my chest. You feel sometimes a faint with we get this dude. Unlike painted colors, however, because mosaics are like tiles. I don't think they're painted. They're like fired and killed, so they're not going to feel like they're painted. So, that's the end of that. I don't really get it. Transgender cow contains I believe the color of the Greek statues have nothing to do with Roman religion. They're totally different centuries. Of course, the colors of the mosaics have been analyzed, and we know almost everything about it. Okay? This for this movie, yes, it is true. It's also true that many mosaics showing in-depth use of color are from the Hellenistic period, at the same time viewed after the period as the statues being examined. However, the New Yorker article refers to classical statues of the Roman period, not just Greek, and especially referred to domestic interiors of Pompeii where mosaics were obviously crucially important. Therefore, it strikes me as odd that in the quest to find out how skin tone was depicted, that the academics don't at least refer to obvious extent. Attention how experts have attempted to reproduce colors on classical statues, but it does not indeed seem unlikely that they would have produced such subtle representations of skin tone in the mosaics and frescoes and this applied flat coats of paint to the sculpture. This is kind of shooting. This is but yep, P. You saw me. Yeah, there's a lot of info. The 2 hours and 30 minutes. Goddamn, all by myself. Me and Sister P. That's right. So, yeah, that's shit. That's about it. Yeah, that's all. That's the last. That's that. That's it. So, shit. Yeah, that was a good one. Got a little slow start, little technical difficulties and stuff like that. But the height of it was right after the whole Muhammad thing. That one article I read, that was a really good article. But, yeah. So let me know what the Prophet Muhammad, the color of the Prophet Muhammad was, what ethnicity, what color he was, his complexion or whatever. Whether those hadiths I used were true or not. Let me know your comments in the comment board. Also, tell me what you think and the things that you have discovered about color and different types of Egyptian art, Greek, Roman art, Asian art, African art, or whatever. So let me know what you think about the video. I appreciate everybody who peeked their heads in and stayed as long as they could. Thank you, Pete, for tuning in and hanging out with me the whole time. It was great. Always a pleasure having you around. And you know, this Sister P inspired me to do this video. Sister P always sending me some stuff. Sometimes, like, I don't get a chance to look at everything or look at everything through, but she sent me some good videos and stuff. And that one video you sent me with the dude like getting beat down with the brick. I was like, well, god dang. And what was good about that video? They showed a video that was taken off YouTube. I've yet to find it, of the witch burning that they had like in Africa. But I think the video said that it was in Haiti or something like that. That they burned that old lady and that dude up. So that shit was crazy. But yeah, if you watched the video that you sent, the whole video that you sent me, where the dude was talking about the Prophet Muhammad and stuff. But the guy, I was gonna play the video of the guy talking about it, but then after like watching it like 3 or 4 times over, I got that what he was trying to portray about the Prophet of Muhammad was not in an actual factual light. And just how he talked about the slaves and of Muhammad, how he got off that subject very quickly. Like he hit it and quit it. Like, you know what I mean? And it wasn't really saying that the Prophet hated black slaves. From what he read, there could be other hadiths or other writings and stuff out there. I don't know. But I'm just going by what he said and his energy that he was trying to give off. And that what really got me to look into what was being said and for me to come on here unbiased about it. And like I said in the beginning, I wanted to be fair about the whole matter. And not just attack something. Like usually I'm attacking the Colts. I'll attack the shit out of the Colt. Like I attack the shit out of the Colt, no shade. But something like that, I didn't want to put that on that man like that. Like, you know what I mean? On Muhammad, whether he existed or not, that's a whole nother show, like, or whatever. But just the hadiths and how people would take things and not being learned in it will take it for what they want to like throw out there. Like, you know what I mean? And not actually be fact. But when you say it, it still grabs the other person, like mine, and it's like, oh yeah, this, that have the same type of ideology as that person that's presented. So that's why I took it and I spun the video. Like I had a different energy when I first saw it, but then I was like, you know what? Like I'm looking at this dude's energy, how he's trying to do it, and he's totally wrong and not exactly factual in what he's saying. Yeah, it says that he's white, but then we have to look at the language. I don't know the Arabic like that. So I didn't have time to actually see if the definitions of in the word that they use for white in those hadiths of Arabic, how they translate as far as like definition in that context and stuff like that. So I would leave that to some Islamic scholars that watch this and might want to dive into that and share with the people. So once again, like if y'all want to follow Islam, go ahead and follow Islam. If that would make you a good person or whatever, go ahead and follow it. If your ass want to be a Christian, that would make you a good person and not be a piece of shit, go ahead and do it. If you want to follow Judaism and that would keep you a good person and you're not fucking oppressing motherfuckers and telling people you're going to kill them and shit, and when your God comes back and put them in slavery and shit, like, no saying, go ahead and do it. I ain't got no problem with that shit. Yeah, I hope they enjoyed the music too. I should have took a little break though. Shit, I was in the zone. I was enjoying what I was reading. That one article, that I read the whole thing. Then I went back and read the beginning of it. That was an excellent article. Excellent article. Shout out to Wishfinder General. Thanks for having us. Appreciate your dedication. Peace, man. Thank you, Pete. Thank you. Yeah, so I don't know. You guys let me know. I might do a small version of this video since I know what I'm talking about. Like I straight up freestyled this whole video. Like I was prepared on just like the Muhammad thing, but like I just threw up a bunch of notes and like stuff that I already knew. Like a lot of this stuff I already knew, but I just wanted to show y'all and have it put together so I don't be yapping. So I can actually have something visual for you guys to look at and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you, Pete. So yeah, with that, get my ass on out of this motherfucker. So Killer B and burning their asses up again. For all you Afrocentrists who would say everybody black, you know what I'm saying, you people white, and all this other crazy ass shit. All you Hebrew Israelites out there talking all that crazy ass shit. Killer B on your ass once again. Burning you up, burning you up, burning you up. So anyway, see you next time. Yup. You know I'm about to fall out when I start talking crazy and shit. I'm always talking crazy. What song I'm gonna go out with? Let's try this one.
Some would say, I'm not all there, don't bother calling me. The cops are scared, so lock your doors and lose your keys. Don't go outside, fall asleep. There was a bird, a yellow bill. He hopped up on my windowsill. I lured him in with bits of bread, and then I smashed his little head. I'm an asshole that has 2 arms and a set of legs. Also happen to have a torso and a head, a torso, rapping in Morse code on the web, playing back audio, looking for source code success. And Lord knows who keeps informing the feds. There must be a breach, cause I only speak to ghosts in a shell and fuck the police. We'll have to keep disposing our cell phones so the leak ceases and the leech exposes himself. I have a hunch that it's some geek that broke in my Dell and disabled every other key and posted a thread of pictures of me supposedly dead. I don't know whose teeth put holes in my neck, but it happens every single week while watching Vampire Hunter D and porn on my desk. And I think I have to leave before CNN files a report to force me to re-report us again. Some would say, not all there, don't bother calling me. The cops are scared, so lock your doors and lose your keys. Don't go outside and fall asleep. There was a bird, a yellow bill. He hopped up on my windowsill. I lured him in with bits of bread, and then I smashed his little head. Think I give a damn about an atom bomb? I'll connect the Panama Canal back together and your mom. Oh, you think I'm scared of cannonballs? I'm not a man at all. I'm a giant plastic panda doll. I'm a rabbit dog. Man can evolve, but my revolver can revolve. I mix my Ativan with applesauce. Where's my Adderalls? I'm mad at Krayshawn, cause she didn't have them all. I'm getting tired of playing basketball by myself in a straitjacket in some tiny room with padded walls. I'm not trying to sound like him. This whole time, I've been trying to sound like Asherah. I use a 97 Macintosh to produce my album in a packet bell that keeps crashing on me while I'm jacking off with a napkin on my fucking lap. Watching episodes of Baywatch back to back, splashing like David Hasselhoff. Some would say, not all there, don't bother calling me. The cops are scared, so lock your doors and lose your keys. Don't go outside and fall asleep. There was a bird, a yellow bill. He hopped up on my windowsill. I lured him in with bits of bread, and then I smashed his little head. I talked to an apostle and asked him if he wants to start a holocaust, and gave him some hollow tips and made him on Krav Maga. Yelling Mazel Tov at the top of my lungs as I'm tossing a Molotov cocktail at your mom's apartment. I ate all the Haagen-Dazs and left her with an empty Papa John's box and offered to call the cops. I'm hoping that maybe she'll drop the charge. I drove to Target and walked to Ross and stole all the shopping carts. I got Lorena Bobbitt a Dodger dog, a pocket knife, and a packet of Oscar Mayers and bought her a chopping block, plus a lifetime supply of sausage links, which damn near possibly costed me the same dollar amount as my lobotomy, approximately. Somebody popped my fucking colostomy bag, but I'm not mad. I just want an apology. The fucking proctologist, the fuck is this problem? It's not your job to be an asshole. It's my job to be. Some would say, not all there. Don't bother calling. The cops are scared, so lock your doors and lose your keys. Don't go outside and fall asleep. There was a bird, a yellow bill. He hopped up on my windowsill. I lured him in with bits of bread, and then I smashed his little head.
Thanks, everybody. Good night. Good night. Killer B signing off. Goddamn Wish Finder. Make sure y'all hit that damn subscribe button. Hit that like button and hit that lights down and tell me why you mad.
I walked into the office at 2 o'clock.
And I'm out. Peace, y'all. Bye, people.